Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. AAA projects close to 51 million Americans will journey 50 miles or more away from home this Thanksgiving. You may be one of them. And traffic volume is supposed to be the highest since 2005. About 1.6 million people out there traveling on the roads, skies, and rails.
Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost joins us now with what Montanans can expect for weather this busy travel week. Aaron.
Well, a lot of what we saw earlier today, and that's going to be some warmth and it's going to be some rain. Now, we do have to talk wind as well as we head into Thanksgiving itself, particularly in the evening. But first things first, this was Hamilton this afternoon from our First Security Bank ICAM. Of course, a foggy start to the day for a lot of folks. We have since seen that fog rise just a little bit to mainly low clouds, but obviously dealing with a lot of moisture. Again, we will focus our attention now not only to the rain and warmth, but to the wind. High wind watch has been issued from Thursday afternoon into early Friday morning, where we could see some pretty and potentially big damaging wind gusts. I've got more details coming up.
Dense fog sucked in the Missoula Valley this morning, causing flights to be delayed or diverted. Missoula Airport Director Chris Jensen tells us 3 flights were diverted to other locations, including Great Falls, Helena, and Boise because of all the fog here. Jensen says make sure you check their website for the latest on departures and arrivals. Passengers should touch base with their airlines for updates as well. United Airlines is now offering a direct route from Missoula to Los Angeles this summer. The daily nonstop seasonal service from Missoula to LA starts June 7th. Customers can already book. Airport Director Jensen says it's an excellent opportunity for travelers to access LA, and it allows Southern Californians to get up here to enjoy what we have to offer. United Airlines now provides service to 4 destinations either year-round or seasonally, and that includes Denver, Chicago O'Hare, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. United also announced a direct flight from Glacier Park International Airport to LA, providing a daily connection from Kalispell.
New tonight, 2 people killed in a single vehicle crash after hitting black ice west of Kalispell early this morning.
It happened along Highway 2 at mile marker 88 near McGregor Lake just before 1:30 in the morning. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper David Mills says a 95 Toyota Land Cruiser was traveling westbound toward Libby when the driver hit black ice and lost control. The vehicle slid off the northern shoulder of the highway, rolled, and hit several trees. There were 6 people in the vehicle, all from Kalispell, including a 33-year-old woman and a 31-year-old man who were seated in the 3rd row of the vehicle. They were not wearing seatbelts. They were thrown and died at the scene. The other 4 passengers in the vehicle were wearing seatbelts. They were not seriously hurt. They were still sent to the hospital. Trooper Mills says drivers need to take extra precaution at night when those wet roads combined with a drop in temperature can create slick conditions.
Slow down, wear seatbelts, and be aware that when the roads are wet and air temperature is near freezing, that black ice can occur.
Mills says speed and alcohol are not considered factors in this crash. The names of the victims have not been released.
There may be some good news this week for Mineral County's struggling economy. A new operator is taking over ownership of Tricon Timber's mill in St. Regis. The mill is one of a handful still operating in the once thriving timber industry in western Montana, but keeping the stud mill going has been a challenge in recent years, as Tricon has struggled against a number of market forces such as Canadian lumber imports and a drop in available wood supply. Tricon laid off 90 employees 2 years ago, which was a big economic blow to not only St. Regis but Superior and the rest of Mineral County. But now Coeur d'Alene-based Idaho Forest Group is announcing this week it's agreed to acquire Tricon St. Regis Mill, with the deal expected to close on December 1st. In a statement posted on the company's website, Idaho Forest Group Vice President of Sales and Marketing says the acquisition supports our continued growth and would be an excellent strategic addition to our existing operations in northern Idaho. Idaho Forest Group is a family-owned business formed in 2008 with the merger of Riley Creek Timber and Bennett Forest Industries.
The National Park Service is giving park users more time to comment on a controversial proposal to dramatically bump up park entrance fees this summer. A few weeks ago, the Park Service floated a proposal to hike entrance fees at its busiest parks, including Glacier and Yellowstone, to cover increasing operating costs and to generate money for roads and other improvements. The proposal means summer visitors to the parks could be paying upwards of 70% more than they do right now to get in. That generated concerns not only from those who go to these parks, but from businesses near the parks who depend on that summer traffic for their business. The comment period was going to expire, but Senator Steve Daines called on the Park Service to grant a 30-day extension so people can have some input. This afternoon, NPS says it would extend the comment period on this rate hike to December 22nd. We do have a link to where you can submit your comments on our website. As America sleeps, the men and women at Malmstrom Air Force Base are awake across the quiet farmlands of Montana. MTN's Margaret DeMarco is on special assignment tonight. She takes us deep in the control room where there's a very careful finger on the button.
You drive past these missile alert facilities every day on Montana highways but might not realize it. Americans just like you are pulling alert 24/7 to protect the nation. Are you ready?
Yep.
Our crew has to take an elevator 60 feet below ground to be able to access the first launch control center to go on alert.
I think that most people in America aren't really aware of what my job is.
As we enter the capsule, we are told we are unable to film majority of the equipment in the room.
We're able to provide strategic deterrence 24/7, 365, and that wouldn't be possible if we didn't have so many hardworking, dedicated people.
But for First Lieutenant Michelle Governor and First Lieutenant Betsy Castro, they do not start their day in the field.
If something pops up, we'll disseminate that information throughout the squadron.
Before the members of the 10th Missile Squadron head into the missile complex, they have a morning briefing.
Whatever maintenance we have going on, whatever activities we'll have in the field, we'll plan how we'll effectively execute all of that for the day.
After the briefing, Governor and Castro drive out to Alpha, which was the first launch control center to go on alert in 1962. The missile complex at Malmstrom Air Force Base spans 13,800 square miles and is the largest complex in the United States.
Each launch control center is in charge of 10 LFs. So Alpha is in charge of Alpha 2 through Alpha 11.
2 missileers are on alert at all times at each of the 15 launch control centers across Malmstrom.
There was a crew out here this morning that we relieved them, so we'll get a brief of everything that they did on their 24-hour shift.
Once they have secured the capsule, Governor and Castro will release the other crew and take control of the launch control center.
The crazy thing about this job is you can be doing it for years, and you'll never know enough. There's so much to learn, there's so many things that change that you always have to be on your toes.
Though most people might believe these men and women press a big red button to launch a missile.
There is no big red button. That is a big misconception, but unfortunately there is no big red button.
Missileers are in the field for 24 hours at a time, but for security forces, chefs, and facility managers, they can stay at a launch control center for up to 5 days.
We get our vehicles, we arm up, we do guard mount, and then we post out here.
741st Security Forces Squadron Staff Sergeant Brandon Penix has one of the most important jobs on the site.
My job is to maintain the security. I watch all the sites and I let people on and off the sites and on and off the MAF.
Penix also keeps in constant contact with the missileers, and he coordinates with the other security forces members who are posted out.
So if we got an alarm at an LF, we'd get an indication and then we would direct our security forces team to respond to that.
Airman First Class Michael Yun would be one of the security forces members who would respond to an alarm.
Like, it's always thrilling. Like, you deal with new experiences, you deal with all kinds of people and stuff like that. So
one of the hardest parts of each job is being away from home.
Let me get that.
But these men and women are committed to service before self.
Just because my fellow citizens aren't aware of what I'm doing, my adversaries are, and that is what makes me proud to do the job that I do.
These missile alert facilities haven't changed much since the 1960s, and neither has their mission. On special assignment, I'm Margaret DeMarco, MTN News.
Alpha does have a long-standing history. It was brought on alert during the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis. In fact, Alpha 6 was known as President John Kennedy's ace in the hole. Coming up later, in fact, just a few minutes, Aaron is back with more on what to expect for your Thanksgiving travel plans.
We'll also have the latest on the Charlie Rose scandal, including response from his CBS This Morning co-host. Still ahead here on KPAX.